Listen, God is a God of completeness. Everything God is going to do has already been done. Do you realize that? So if you're asking for something right now or you're in need of something, guess what? He saw to it that that thing is available to you if you only believe. Listen, I don't know about you, but my faith is a step ladder. My faith is a platform that will lift me from ground level into the heavenly realm. So as I walk out on faith and I reach and grab hold of that what God has already blessed me, it's already mine. I don't have to work for it. I don't have to do anything special. He said, you have not because you ask. And when you ask, believe that you receive, and it shall be. It must be. It's gotta be available to you. I dare you to ask. Grab hold of your most holy faith and ask God in all sincerity. God, I need. Lord, let me hear. I need you to bless me. I need you to heal my brother. I need you to heal my sister. I need you. Lord, I need you. Heavenly Lord, get what you came for. And if it didn't come for nothing, let us show you the way. God is here, available for everything you need. I dare you to take part in what God has set up for his children, his heirs. Those that do believe are those that will receive. If you only reach, outside of your comfort zone, I dare you to reach, outside of what's comfortable. Come on, reach.
to burn all my sinful bridges and blaze new trails. Who am I talking to this morning? You say, I'm trying to burn all my sinful bridges and what I'm going to do, I want to blaze new trails. I'm trying to burn all my sinful bridges and I'm trying to blaze new trails. Amen. I'm going to say that one. This is going to resonate with somebody. I'm trying to burn all my sinful bridges and I'm trying to blaze new trails. I'm going to burn Jesus. Everything in my life that's not like God, I'm burning. And I'm going to blaze new trails. All the things used to scare me, make me cry, make me feel, make me want to die. I'm going to burn all those sinful bridges. And I'm going to blaze new trails. And when I get to the point that I'm blazing new trails, that means I am a new creature. Your birthday has nothing to do with you being a new creature. It's when you make up in your mind that I'm burning all the sinful bridges, yes, and I'm blazing new trails, then I become a new creature. And old things, help me say it, church, passed away. Old things, come on, somebody say old things. Yeah, come on, old things, yeah, come on, old things, yeah, come on. Now get this way, old things, yeah, come on, old things, yeah, come on, old things, yeah, come on, old things, yeah, old things, yeah, old things, yeah, old things. All things become new. Oh my God. All things have become new. I don't walk like I used to walk. Don't talk how I used to talk. Don't think like I used to think. Don't pray like I used to pray. Don't worship like I used to worship. Don't hang where I used to hang. Don't cry like I used to cry. Don't whine out no one eye. Oh, I am a new creature. Come on. Oh, I am a new creature. Oh, I am a new creature. Yes. Oh, I am a new creature. Oh, things have passed away. Now, I want you to tell yourself before I read these scriptures, I'm getting my roar back. Come on! Come on! I'm not barking because I'm not a dog. Come on! Not meowing. I'm not a cat. I'm roaring because I'm a lion. I'm roaring because I'm a lion. And if you feel that this morning and if you believe you a lion, 20 through 23. God bless you. Just stand. Lord, I thank you in advance for letting me deliver your word to lions. Because this word, cats can't digest it. Lord, help me talk to lions today. Meat eaters. Meat eaters. Help me talk to lions today. When I count to 3, I want you to clap twice. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Clap, clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, a valiant fighter from Catsville, performed great exploits. He struck down Moab's 2 mightiest warriors. Jesus. He also went down into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion. And he struck down a huge Egyptian. Although the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, Benaiah went against him with a club. Jesus. Somebody say, who is Benaiah? That's somebody else. That's the wrong person. That's somebody else. Who is Benaiah? Yeah. Benaiah went against him with a club. He snatched a spear from the Egyptian's hand and killed him with his own spear. That's somebody else. Who is Benaiah? Sex-worthy exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada. Jesus. He too was famous as the 3 mighty warriors. He was held in greater honor than any of the 30, but he was not included amongst the 3. And David put him in charge of the bodyguards. Ask yourself, who is Benaiah? You're Benaiah. Chase the lion. You're Benaiah. Anybody who had obstacles and hills to climb, who couldn't see their way out, who thought it was over, but you kept fighting when the odds was against you. You got to encourage yourself this morning. It's like, I'm Benaiah. Yes, I am. I'm Benaiah. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh. Oh, in this place, have your way, God. Move like never before. We declare and decree breakthrough in here today. Thank you, God, that no one will leave this place the same way they came. Oh, I thank you for what you've done, what you're doing, and get ready to do. Thank you for your omnipotence. Thank you, God, that this word will catapult us into the 3rd realm of heaven. Lord, we thank you. Let the angelicalness of your angels continue to sit on the right and left shoulder of grace and mercy. Lord, we thank you this morning. Your will be done. Thank you for always being infallible and unmovable. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. I want every lion in here to put your hands together. Clap those hands crazy like you trying to see the devil up and tell the devil, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. You can't stop me, Sean. The devil can't stop me. He can try to distract me, but the devil can't stop me. Sit down. Let's go to work. You got your exercise out the way. You feel better now. You got that stretch from the week off you. That's what you got to do during praise and worship. You got to get the stress of the week off of you. You can't come to church stuck up stinking. Not physically, but spiritually. You're stinking up the place. You got to get it off of you. Everything that the devil tried to put on you, God has given you power to take it off. The things that Satan tricked you with and tried to make you wear, you have the ability when you look in the mirror and see, this is not who I am. I need to take this off. The problem is we don't understand that we're two people in one. We're so concerned with the one that we don't feed the other. Preaching. We don't understand, like Benaiah did, that there's something special in that other person that you have yet to become acquainted with. Benaiah couldn't have killed two men, killed an Egyptian that the Bible declares was 7 feet 6 inches tall, because Egyptians were big. The bloodline was big. And then he chases a lion in the snow into a pit and kills him. He had to be in touch and be acquainted, Mayor Dixon, with something more than his flesh. We have two people, Sean, that's with us every day, flesh and spirit. Amen. The problem is we adhere to and listen to the one we're most familiar with. The one you feed every day. You know, the one 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Some of us, most snacks. The flesh. We're so acquainted with our flesh, and when it's time for us to bust a move and be the lion we are, we have nothing to move forward with. Chase the lion. To chase a lion, there has to be something in you greater than average. Now in the Bible, it uses the example of Benaiah chasing a lion in the physical. But it took something in the supernatural to push his physical. That something is the spirit. So when you can't go another further, when you first feel like quitting, please understand that it's your flesh that's talking to you. But most of us won't deny our flesh because we become best friends with it. You know how it is when you have best friends, it's hard to say no to best friends. Yeah, best friends can get you to do things other people can't. I won't go there with you, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. Best friends can get you to do things that other people can't. How many know that? Best friends will get you to get on out the house when you're broke, when your hair not fixed, when your nails not done. They'll lie to you, tell you to put that dress on, it's too tight. They won't tell you because best friends do all that. And so we are very good and acquainted with best friends to the point to where we do what best friends say do. And your best friend most times, if you're not truly walking with Christ, is your flesh. So our flesh guides us, and our flesh prohibits us from chasing the very things that God has intended for us to chase, which are things that are bigger than yourself. Visions, goals, missions. Those are the things that God wants us to chase. But we won't chase those because our flesh dictates what we do. So when we need answers to something, we go back to our flesh. And our flesh brings with it memories, your resume, back down memory lane. This is how we used to do it for old time's sakes. That's what your flesh brings. And God said, but I'm trying to create a new creature. He said, I want something to come out of you that's been in you that you didn't realize was there because you put it to sleep and never tried to awaken it. Spirit. When you get to the point where you do miraculous things, it's your spirit. The one that you haven't dealt with, the one that you treat like a stepchild, the one that you refuse to feed, the one that's malnourished is the one that you really need to be codependent upon. Why do we treat the spirit like a thing from defects? Look down at your spirit. Don't want people to be introduced to your spirit, but you want them to be introduced to your everything that has to do with the flesh. Look at my new car. You'll walk down the aisles in the church. I've never seen praise and worship that much. Oh, she got on new shoes and a new skirt.
She's sashaying. She's not really praising. She's just back and forth, just sashaying, letting the slip, I mean, the skirt just wing so everybody can see the skirt and the heels. Otherwise, she don't get up for praise and worship. She only gets up for praise and worship. Watching now, she got to have things. Watch it. I mean, the flesh is guiding her and leading her. She's really not a bad person, but she's adhering to the person she's most familiar with. So when you ask yourself, why I don't go to church? My flesh told me not to. Why I don't read my word? My flesh told me not to. My flesh told me to look at power. I like power, but I read my word before I watch it. Because if not, you'll start imagining that you want your wife to be Tasha. Yeah, let the flesh rise. Let it rise. Let it rise. Come on, let it rise. See, you know, no, not Tasha. No, not her. Yeah. Because our flesh guides us, so we never have an opportunity to really enter into the inner courts and start recognizing the experience we can have in the supernatural. So we don't think we can. So we're easily discouraged when we hear about other people or other things because we don't have total confidence in that other person that's riding with us. Come on, sir. So we don't believe that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Because if I believe that, my dialogue will change. But your dialogue can't change when your dialogue is connected to the flesh. Your dialogue only changes when it's connected to the spirit. So I don't care what you put on Facebook. I don't care how many songs you sing. If you're not walking Christ-like, you bamboozled. You ain't nothing but a cloud of smoke and mirrors. You have no power to you because you put somebody else said don't make you powerful. What makes me powerful is when that other person in me, the spirit man, comes out of me and my walk change and I'm more aggressive in the spirit. Now I'm chasing. Chasing. So I don't care what kind of shirt you wear. How many cross tattoos you get. Or how much jewelry you purchase. It's what in you. We get so caught up in flesh. The greatest thing that we can do, he said, let your light so shine. What light is he talking about? Jesus is talking about the light that's in you. So that man will what? See it. He didn't say speak on it. No, he didn't say boogaloo it. He said, let it so shine. How do I let my light so shine? As a lion. You can see it by the way I walk. I'm confident because of what's in me makes me bona fide. And if I'm bona fide in the spirit, that means God is glorified in the supernatural because he got a light shining. And a light shining bright, quiet brings about more in a movement than a talking wagon. Because it always goes back to, well, look how you're living. Yeah, tell me whatever, but look how you're living. Look how you're living. Got your kids all confused. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, says James, the half-brother of Jesus. Got your kids, do as I say and not as I do. Then when the kid get in trouble at school, and you try to discipline them, they remind you that I got in trouble at the school, you got in trouble with the police. You don't want me to lie, but you lie all the time. And I'll tell my sister ain't here. Oh, this your brother? But you don't want your children to lie. Because you're confused, because there's a battle going on
in the way that we're walking, and it's flesh versus spirit, good versus evil, and you're feeding the wrong one. You're feeding your flesh. And I want to go back. God didn't have a reverse. He doesn't have. Jesus never went back. They don't have a reverse. Back then, they didn't have rearview mirrors.
Come on, sir.
They didn't have cars, but I'm sure, I never really saw Jesus walk on, he rode on a camel. They say he rode on a donkey sideways. He didn't want to look back. He wanted to see the people that was allowing their flesh to supersede their spirit. And he wanted to see how many people was making noise, roaring, but didn't have no teeth. Oh, you're roaring, but you have no teeth. You can tell me what thus says the Lord, but you can't live it. You're afraid to bring your problems to the altar for fear of what people might say. But you come to church for healing. Now if that ain't bipolar. I come to church for healing. I got to the front desk, but I won't see the doctor. How am I going to be strong enough to chase finance? So what I do, I start putting more time and effort into my problems, into my issues. Not to resolve them, but just to be reminded that they're there. Elder Mark, so glad you're with me. Listen, they look at the problem. We never dissect the problem. We never analyze the problem. We never move on the problem. All we do is let people know that the problem is here. Yeah. Your problem, you announce your problem more than you announce God's promise. So you tell everybody the problems you have, and you never speak promise. So people don't even understand your roar. Did I hear goat? Because you're saying something, but you're not moving Christ-like. It cost us to move Christ-like. You know why the pews aren't filled? Because it costs more than most people's flesh is willing to pay. The flesh can never pay for what Christ did. It don't have enough capital. Because the one who sees the flesh, his day has already been numbered. Satan knows his end. He knows he has no win. And in knowing that, all he tries to do is bring as many with him as he can. He has no place of his to promise. The place that he's going, God has already preordained and pre-orchestrated. He shall go into the lake of fire. And all those that's down there in the cells waiting on him shall go. Because they wouldn't roar. They wouldn't utilize their canines. They wouldn't bite. And I'm not talking about that physical stuff. All y'all can do that, I'm sure. But y'all, I'm talking about the spiritual. Why we do not use our spiritual canines to bite into vision? Why do we not use the bite we have to speak prosperity? Why do we not use our canines to claim our healing? You have power to do this if you recognize that there's two people living in you. If you recognize that the spirit man, if you start feeding him, then as you feed him, he grows. But when you're feeding your flesh, it's normally something that's not nutritious, and eventually it decays. It decays. I know that because, biblically speaking, people live longer earlier in the Bible because they ate all the fruit and the vegetables of the land. And even the livestock they killed it, Maria, but it was still healthy because it ate the fruit of the vegetables of the land, the grass, and it didn't have no steroids or anything. And church's chicken too big. Okay, we got some Sedinic people. I'm going back up. I'm going to Wichita. Baby, we moving to Wichita. Them cowboys would have been up running all around now. Telling on the ones who uses steroids out there, getting them to the altar. But stuff going too quick. When you really look at how things are growing now, it looks good to the natural eye, but it's unhealthy to you internally. They're making chicks now. I have a friend whose grandmother has a big chicken farm. Patrick Hamilton played at Georgia, played basketball down there at the tennis. His grandmother lived in Gainesville, have a huge chicken farm. And they say the way they're doing chickens now, it's embarrassing. Definitely unhealthy. A chicken from the time it's born in 4 weeks is full grown. Fully grown. Steroids. This is juicy. What's juicy? What's the juice? What's the juice? In 4 weeks, you have huge chickens, and they say it's so bad that the chickens grow so fast that the joints can't maintain the weight. So their legs break. Yeah, chicken and dumplings. I love chicken and dumplings. You don't know how those legs were broken so that you can enjoy this meal. Because when you try to get somewhere prematurely, something always is missed. You have to grow to be a lion. The first thing you have to do is recognize that I'm not where I need to be. I have to look at myself and say, I have to come to the conclusion that where I am is where I put myself because of the decisions I have made. Quit blaming God for the things you brought on yourself. You're wasting time in church. We're wasting too much time in church blaming God for things we did. We're in the church and you got hey. And everybody get up in the church. You know what they say to around tape? We had church. But you never change, man. Because when you leave out the church, you're the same way when you came in than when you leave. So you had church, but didn't invite God. I didn't invite God, so I have no power. So now I have to fall back on what I've been accustomed to referring to, which is my flesh. Question. Have you ever been broken? Now, I'm not talking about broke. I'm talking about broken. Where crying came involuntary. It was involuntary. It just came. I just cried because I was broken. And a lot of times, broken don't have to be something that everybody knows. It can be something as simplistic as you just being by yourself. Some people are more broken when they thought they had more money in the bank than when they looked at the... I have stood there before. And when they say, you want your receipt? I got the receipt. And when I looked at it, I thought I had more money in the bank. And when I just froze. It gave me what I needed then, but I didn't have what I was going to need for later. What I didn't have for later took over what I had then. And that's what happens to us now. When you go in and ask for a withdrawal, and you get that withdrawal, but you realize there's nothing else there, it breaks you. Because now who do I turn to? It breaks you. And so the next time you go and you put the money in the avail machine, the ATM, you put it in, and they say, do you want a receipt? No. How many have been there besides me? Okay, I got some people going to heaven in here. Mother, no. Why? It's your account. All it does, when you see your available balance, it shows you your decisions. Jesus. Trigger, ain't nobody been in your account but you. And you look like, and the first time you speak in the unknown tongues, it's not speaking in the tongues of the living God, it's the tongues of, what did I do? How did I get here? And you start blaming others because that's what your flesh tells you to do. It wasn't you, something went wrong. And you never heal because you never come to grips with, I'm broken. What adverse circumstance are you facing? Or adverse circumstances are you currently facing right now? What circumstances are you facing right now that are much larger than the resources you have? See, all the Cushites want to always equate everything to finances. But I'm talking about some things like medical conditions. I want to talk about something even greater, First Lady, called age. Yeah, we forget the money. Age. Adverse circumstances. I'm getting older and I'm trying to stop it, but I can't stop it because it's going to continue to come and look at me. My circumstances aren't where I want them to be because of the decisions I made in the past, and my decisions from the past came from the flesh that I fed, and now that flesh has nothing else to give me because it was designed to kill me. And it takes me till I'm 60 to realize that it had given me a slow death. 60, 65 and don't have retirement plans. Praying that Social Security will be around and you try to roar. Because you got caught up in cars and not eternity. You got caught up in the bigger house than what you needed. No furniture in it. Never invite people over. Nowhere to sit. The house has become a stress because you wanted everybody to know you live in Pikes Peak subdivision. You have a lawnmower that doesn't catch grass. So the grass is scattered and your yard looks different from everybody else. They toot their nose up at you when they come by your yard. Because you haven't prepared yourself to be there. First point. Quit forcing yourself to be in places God hasn't preordained. Then we force ourselves. We look at other people and we try to hurry up and get there. I need to get there. God said, not yet. I need to get there. God said, no. Let salvation have its perfect work. Salvation is a process. No, I want to be here. I need this right now. He said, you'll be like the chicken that was raised too quickly on steroids. You got a product, but it's unhealthy. And so you don't have a mane as a lion. You're 65 years old and you don't have a mane as a lion. This mane, it comes with wisdom, fights. They say if you look up under the mane of a lion, you'll see the true lion because you'll see the scars from battle. But you earn the mane. And most people just want to obtain the mane. The Bible says Benaiah fought the Egyptian soldier, man, 7 feet 6 inches tall. I said it before. David ain't the first. David's not the first to fight. Benaiah fought Egyptian soldiers. Listen, the children of Israel, let me say this, thank you, Holy Ghost. The children of Israel, we all know that they was always fighting, but we can't never tell you why. always know that the children of Israel was fighting, Gentiles or whomever, Romans, whomever. But we can never tell the world why our people were fighting. What were they fighting for? What were they fighting over? They had to be lions, man. Because they weren't fighting over oil. They weren't fighting over crude oil. We make it today like we're fighting over crude oil. That's what the news wants you to think. But you know what they're fighting over today is the same thing that the children of Israel was fighting over back during the time of Gideon. What were they fighting over? Land. Their whole life was direction toward fighting for God's land. People died, was pumped out for God's land. Circumstances were grave, but they continued to fight for God's land. But now you had to go through all this just to get a meeting with David to apply to become the head of David's army, which is the army of Israel. I'm preaching this. He had to fight to be ahead of the fight. I got to fight and go through all this to be on my resume so I can go before David, so David might at least think that I can lead his army, who also was a prolific fighter, just so I can lead his army in battle. Pastor, what you saying? You too deep for me, man. All this history. I'm saying, don't discount the little battles you're going through now. God is preparing you for a bigger war. Quit looking at these little battles as wars. You're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. This too shall pass. Act like it. You know the scripture, now live it. How do I live? This too shall pass. By acting like it. Yeah, I'm going to put yes in the atmosphere more than no. Yes, God. Yes to your will. Yes to your way, God. This had to happen, God. You're trying to do something through me. Yeah, but quit making mountains out of molehills. I ain't got that much gas money. Okay, don't go nowhere. The problem is you got enough gas to do what you have to do. Your flesh will remind you of what you want to do. And your flesh continues to keep you worried, bothered, broke, and disgusted because of what you want to do. When your spirit says you got everything you need to do, God wants you to spend time with him. That's why you don't have no more gas money, because he wants you to pray while you at the house without ceasing. Turn from your wicked ways, meditate and supplicate yourself so you can connect with him and be a part of the true vine, and then your father shall become the husbandman, and with that I can have everything that I asked for. But we're so caught up in the molehill. I hate my job. Ask God, why do you still have me here? I've been trying to leave. Why do you have me here? I've been filling out applications, doing my due diligence. It has to be something that you have for me here. And when you finish that, then God will release you, and he'll open up the floodgates of heaven, and then he'll pour you out blessings that you won't have what? Room enough to receive. When was the last time you got a blessing that just knocked you off your feet? When was the last time you received a blessing from God that you knew it was nobody but God? You knew they was coming to get your car, but you ended up driving that car for 2 more pay periods, and then you paid them folks, and you say, but God, I don't know how we made it. You looked at your children and to yourself, I don't know how that stretched. I don't know how that food stretched, but me and my family ain't missed a meal. That's what I'm talking about. When you get to the point where you got to totally trust in God. God got you in a place. If you tried everything you can to move,
He got you in a place where there's still work to be done. We have to understand that sometimes God leaves us in a place because God is remodeling you. Why you got me going through hell, God? He said, because I want the people to see the future. Why you got me going through such a trial and time, tribulation? Because I want them to see what I look like. Because we're the best model for God. When they're redoing, when my wife used to talk about, baby, I want to remodel an old house, I couldn't see it. I used to couldn't see it. I was immature in that area. Now that's all I want. We're going to get a house and redo it ourselves. And I know it's going to look uglier before it gets better. I know they got to tear down everything before they bring anything new in there. I know that already now, so I'm expecting because I'm maturing in my spirit, so I won't allow the things in the flesh to deter me, Jesus. They can't deter me because I'm expecting now, because I've been through enough and learned enough from connecting with God and getting sources from a wife, so now I expect that in order to be built up, I got to first be torn down. I'm not quitting because I'm torn down. I'm roaring. Bible says that you can hear a lion's roar from 3 miles away. Yeah, so when I'm down, don't try to find me because God got me deep underground. He's doing something with me. All I'm asking you to do is put your ear to the ground and hear my roar. Know that I ain't dead yet. They tried to count me out, but I'm not dead yet. Just put your head down. If you can't get on the ground, just lean down and hear my roar. And let everybody know Tony's still good. William's still moving. God just moving in his life. God got him in a dark place right now so that he can start to grow. In a dark place. But God is germinating me, growing me in a dark place so I can continue to develop my roar. Yeah, I don't have the same roar when I'm a spiritual puppy as I do when I'm grown. And I'm not talking about age-wise. I'm talking about experiences. People who have been through the mud and back, they have a different type of sound when they talk about the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for them versus the people who ain't been through nothing. They look down at you and say, that's too much. When God look back and say, that ain't enough. What they've been through, they ain't praising, they worshiping. You can't distinguish between the two. Thank God for guaranteed uncertainties. Oh, I thank you, Lord, for guaranteed uncertainties, which means that sometimes things are going to happen, Brother Griffin, that I don't know why they happened or how they came or who brought them, but they don't come because God's going to allow some guaranteed uncertainties to come. Trials come, says James, to make us strong. He said we have to persevere in order to move forward. So you can't treat God's house just on Saturdays and Sundays or just on Wednesdays and Sundays. God got to be with you every day. He has to lead you every day so people can see your light and they'll hear your roar. When everybody else is complaining about the supervisor and you sitting back there, to God be the glory. They'll call you an Uncle Tom, a sellout, a wannabe, a tattletale, whatever. It has nothing to do with the supervisor. Honey, it has everything to do with who is in me. You see, I'm in a place now where I've been in the dark too long. And God started to try to raise me up. So I ain't going to let this part-time supervisor dictate my destiny. They don't have enough power to dictate who I am. You let the wrong people drive your car. The wrong people took your car, didn't ask you, and started driving your vision and started telling you what you can and cannot do.
You can't leave that job. You've been on it 20 years. Yeah, probably 16 years too many. You know them folk down there pay good. That's the problem. I've been depending on them folks. And not depending on my God. If you don't watch it, Satan will get you back out there and he'll have you working 2 and 3 jobs. And you look up and say, I ain't got no father. What am I doing? Satan say, I distracted you. Yeah, because I wanted to destroy you. Remodeling. If you're going to become a lion, you have to be willing to be remodeled. You have to be willing to be broken down, tore down, mentally and spiritually, so that God can rebuild you and transform you into what he has you to be. You can't be, well, I don't want to be remodeled and take the same old stuff with me. Take the kitchen sink when you take it. Take all those old toilets when you remodel. I want a whole new hardwood floor. Yeah, but I want it to look with an old finish, but it's going to be a new floor. I want everything new in the house. I like the property, and I want to keep the old look to it, but it's going to be all new. In other words, I'm going in, and I'm strengthening the bones on the inside of my house. Spiritually, I'm looking at them, going back and say, I've been wrong when I go home today and say, I've been cheating the family because I lack faith. I complain more than I pray. Lord, I'm sorry. All I do is complain. And I look to call whoever I can complain to, and I can put my complaining spirit on that complain. Complain. I just complain all the time. People look at the phone and be, oh no. I ain't got nothing for you, man. I got problems of my own. I'm looking for somebody to complain to. I'm remodeling my spirit, man, so that Christ can be seen through me. Until I do that, I can't chase lions. I can't chase them because I have to learn how to survive. I have to learn how to eat. I have to learn on how to hunt. See, they teach their young'uns how to hunt. And I like the lion. Though it may seem heartless, it's necessary that when a new lion takes over a pride, the first thing he kills are all the little baby male lions because they're not of his bloodline. Oh, yeah, I know somebody had a little sympathy party there. Oh, poor little lions. God looking at your angel saying, look at you, oh, poor you. I'm tired of being your angel. You let everything come in. You so polluted on the inside because you let everybody say what they want to, how they want to, when they want to, use and abuse you because you won't kill the bloodline that's not part of yours. I can appreciate, though it seems harsh, I can appreciate what the lion do to male when he comes in. He kill all the little baby males. Now he let the females stay because they do what God wants us to do. They reproduce. And not only that, they go hunt. So you get another male lion over there, he ain't gonna want to hunt. And we can't have 2 grown men in the house and they want to hunt. And then the younger male lion ain't gonna protect. So what he doing? Just eating and sleeping for free. So the lion say, not so. I like how the lion thinks though. He says, I don't have long to live. Lions live 12 to 15 years. They probably be over a tribe no more than 10 years. They say, I have to make every second of every minute of every day count. And Griffin, that's what we got to do. We got to make every second of every minute of every day count. Live each day like it's your last. Because it might very well be. Yeah, don't be scared of death. The people who are afraid of death are the people not living Christ-like. Because the Bible says those who died on behalf of Christ died in honor. Oh my God. Woo, it's nasty today. This thing gonna stay up place. But it's the truth. When you look over in the Middle East, and when you see them beheading those people are not running. They're not running. They say, I'm going up to glory. I'm down on behalf of God. My Savior. Even the Islam, the children of the Muslims do it. They die because they think if they die on behalf of Muhammad or Allah, that they get 80 women when they go wherever they die. That's the custom. Now, y'all, come on now, you know I'm surgical with this. Don't get the blue jeans twisted. But it's the truth. They die because they think where I'm going, I get 80 more women. So they look at the wife, I'm going to war. I ain't got time for you. I'm looking, you don't gain weight. I can't be doing, you ain't doing that for causing me headache. I'm going to war. Put me on the front line. Forget remodeling, I want a whole do-over. Get me up there with the women. We have to look at it sometimes when God allows us to go through these things, to even become a lion, that maybe God is increasing your capacity to deal with adversity. You can't look at it and be like, man, I can't believe I messed up. I did this. I made a mistake. So, you ain't the first. You're not the last. Get up, ask for forgiveness, and keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes God allows you in these situations to increase your ability to take on adversity. The Bible says it like this: to much is given, much is required. So if I want to be great, I got to expect great adversity. If I want to be a great Christian, I got to expect great haters. If I want to be a great light, I have to expect great darkness. It comes. If I want to be a great child of God, I have to expect great tests. But I'm not going back. How many of y'all, be honest with me, how many of you are tired of repeating the same grade spiritually? You ain't had no movement in your life spiritually in a while. I'm in the same grade spiritually. I got a master's degree, but I'm in the third grade spiritually. I don't know nothing. I need to be back there with the little children. Because you got all this paper in the flesh, but what you putting on your wall in the spirit? What you putting on your wall in the spirit? Yeah, that school their curriculum went for 4 years. See, this curriculum right here is a lifetime. That's why with this curriculum, you don't get a certificate. You don't get a diploma or a piece of paper. With this curriculum right here, you get a crown. You get a crown with this one. You see what I'm saying? You get a crown with this right here, and it goes on your head, not on your wall or on your desk. But it takes more. It requires more. Maybe the problem you never thought you could overcome will come in the statue of something 500 pounds. Benaiah didn't realize that one of his greatest tests would come in the form of something that weighs 500 pounds. What had me so puzzled was the fact of how did he deal with the lion? Because the Bible doesn't declare how he dealt with the lion after he went and followed the lion in snow into a pit. The lion got off on him, but God left the footprints, so he could follow the footprints to find the lion. What happened when he went in the pit to fight something he had never fought? What happens, Sean, when you move to a place that you've never been, that you've never moved to? You have no family here, but you came. That's going into a pit to kill a lion. That's why when you start your business, you ain't have no money, but you started with what you got. And you start doing things you didn't want to do to get to where you need to be. That's going into a pit. Going out of town on your job, it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. But now you're going into a pit. See, you have to learn to do the things and embrace the things you don't want to do to get to where you want to be. That's when you're going into a pit. I'm in the pit because I've come to a place that's dark and cold. A place that I'm fighting something that I've never fought. See, with people, it's easy to fight people because we know how each other fight. So in fighting people, you watch for the jab, and if they put the left foot up, you make sure you put your foot up right there so you can counter them. But what you do with a lion? Because unlike people, lions are going to do exactly what lions are supposed to do. So the only given I have is that lions are going to do what lions are supposed to do. Lions are going to be what lions are supposed to be. Unpredictable. Lions are going to be unpredictable. Hit somebody, a human hard enough, they'll cry. You hit that lion hard enough, he's going to roar. He's going to growl and come back. Because all he knows is, I'm a lion. And he don't understand stop. He understands win. He don't understand what it takes to win. All he understands is win. So that's why lions keep fighting, even when they've been bit or whatever. They just keep fighting because they're driven by the mindset of winning and not the mindset of succumbing to pain. You'll see them down, and hyenas, Lord, every now and then I see the hyenas got the best of them. I almost cry. My wife said, baby, you're too engulfed and indulgent in this YouTube thing with these lions. But I love it. So every now and then the hyenas get them. Every now and then when the lion got old, and that joker up down, they don't bit half one leg off, that joker still down. Got the nub. I saw one time they had an old lion. They were fighting. He couldn't hardly fight no more. But the last thing he did, he still had a little bit of a roar. And he had his hand, he was there. And it was like a beautiful piece of art. Because even while he was dying, he never lost his identity. When you're fighting and it feels like you're not winning, don't lose your identity. You have to continue to move forward. I don't care how many licks you take, how much they talk about you, how much it hurt you, what you lost when you were starting your business. It don't matter. You have to continue to remember who you are. And fighting all them then deter the lion from being a lion. He had just gotten old. But one last time, I thought it was beautiful. Out in the Serengeti, how he still had enough that one last time. And the hyenas had left him to die then. He roared one last. I wanted to cry. I did. You got to know me now to know how I love lions. I wanted to cry. And when I heard the last roar, he never forgot who he was, even in the midst of battle. And that's what we have to do as Christians. We can never forget who we are, even in the midst of battle. You can't allow the enemy to dictate how you fight. Quit being on the defensive. At some point, you got to take the offensive. You got to say, I'm coming for you, and you're going to have to fight. As long as I got you on the defensive, you can't swing. At some point, I'm going to have to get on the offensive and bring the fight to the enemy. Lions don't wait. When they see them hyenas out there messing with them lions, and them jokers look, they start. Then the more he identified, that's my tribe, they're my people. That joker get going, and he don't even bark. He don't yell and that joker don't roar. That joker be, because it's a time to roar and it's a time to put him up. It's a time right now to put him up. That joker don't roar then. Y'all roar at the wrong time. Y'all are roaring when you shouldn't be working. Joker roared in. And when he get down there, but there's always some hyenas that's looking. Always. The devil always looking. He always looking when you get too strong. He had to bring that out out and bring a demon in. Them jokers looking when they see, but the hyenas never tell everybody else. They just take off running. You have to be careful of the people you hang with. Because some of y'all think they lions, but they hyenas in a lion suit. get in trouble, you will see the lion suit still there and that person gone. Where did Gertrude go? This her skin, then you realize Gertrude was never Gertrude. Gertrude was a hyena sent to kill me. And then the lion comes up, and when the lion gets there, though, they take care of business. Because they hit so hard with those paws. And those butcher knives come out them paws. So when they hit one time, they break the neck of hyenas. Pow! But when he hit this one, he's looking over here. Because he always trying to find the matriarch. Ooh, I ain't got enough time. Ooh! I like it. Lions don't look for the babies. They want to find the queen. I want to find the head of the tribe. Cut off the head, the body will fall. So the lions come in, they look for the matriarch. They hitting everything in front of her. And then, the other, they get out the way. Them jokers, some already took off back to the den. They run. But the matriarch, she know on the hangs a few men. When he see her, she knows that he's connected with her. Because the first thing she do, she take off running. But she can't outrun him. She's the head of her tribe. He's the king of the jungle. Your problem is you're not catching what you're chasing because you've forgotten that you're a king or a queen. We're the head, and the Bible declared that God gave man dominion over everything on earth. Not just animals, situations. This is getting good. We forget that God gave man dominion. When he say man, man, and woman, woman came from man. He gave us dominion over everything on this earth. So whether it's a situation, whether it's an illness, whether it's lack, a new career, whatever it is, you have dominion over it. But you've forgotten who you are. So you chase the little things. So you go after a job you know you can get that doesn't require much. But you want a house on the hill. When you're working a duplex job. There's nothing wrong with duplexes. I'm just using that as an example. But we got to change the mindset. We have to change the mindset. You are the chaser. You have to go on the offensive. You have to predicate. You have to put forth. You have to set it off. You have to set the tone. Quit waiting on everybody else to set the tone for you. Quit waiting on everybody else's yes and their approval for your vision. They didn't give it to you. They can't take it away. You waiting on everybody else. If they like it, I'm going with it. Who were they? You think too low of yourself. Their prayer life is no stronger than yours. You're just not sure of yours. Yours might be a little rusty. Go ahead and clean it off. You have a strong prayer life. You have a strong relationship with God. You just have to be reminded, I'm in my remodeling stage. Yet I'm being remodeled. I want you to see all me. I want you to see all of me. So when you see what God did for me, you're going to know it was God. I ain't trying to hide nothing from you. Yeah, this is my situation. These are my circumstances. This is what I don't have. This is what I'm desiring. I know it looks crazy, but I'm going to have it. Take a picture of me today and hold that picture for about next 6 months to a year. And then come back, find me if you can, and take another picture. You will recognize me because I've been changed and remodeled from the inside out. Roar! Hear my roar. You got to hear the roar in you. You got to hear the roar if you're going to deal with guaranteed uncertainties. Things come, and sometimes we don't understand that opportunities often look like unmeasurable obstacles. Opportunity at times look like unmeasurable obstacles. I didn't realize that what I was going through was working out for my good. That's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says. He was working it out for my good. It looked bad. The opportunity didn't even look like an opportunity. I didn't realize that the opportunity wasn't immeasurable. That was working out for my good. It made me stronger. It gave me more confidence. Oh, it gave me more energy. Man, I started moving forward. Someday we may be we may be thankful for the bad things, I should say. Just as thankful for the bad things. Because the bad things help us prepare for the good things. You know when Al Green made that song, For the Good Times? You realize that was after he got burnt with the grits. Brother Griffith, I talk to you because you're the only real one in here today. You're in the sheriff. He made that song after he got burnt with the grits. Because that song and all that song is a reflection of what happened to him bad. The good came out of that is that he made a song and he was remorseful for what had happened. For the good times. I'm not sure Al ever got over the trauma of how tragic it is to be burnt with grits. Good came out of that. And if you reflect this morning, you can think of something you did that wasn't very popular. Something bad you went through that caused you to be better. You don't have to write it down and tweet it out. But you know, I've endured something. I didn't think I was going to endure it, but it made me better. Last thing, when do we stop asking God to get us out of difficult circumstances and start asking Him what He wants us to get out of these difficult circumstances? I'll say it again and we're going to close. When do we stop asking God to get us out of difficult circumstances and start asking Him what He wants us to get out of these difficult circumstances? Same scenario, same givens, different perspective. Same thing, just a different perspective. A different light shined upon it. When do I stop asking God to get me out of these circumstances? And I ask God, what is it you want me to get out of these circumstances? When I start looking at it that way, I'm starting to grow my mane. I'm starting to become a lion. I want to tell you about a person, but I don't have time today. I walked through a person's life who grew a man. And it was tough growing that man and all they had to endure. And many times they were alone and they failed quite often. And 2/3 of the time when they was doing stuff, they were afraid. But they went on anyway. Come back next week. We're going to finish this next week. Chase the line. Put your hands together. God bless you. As we stand, I pray that something is said today that will bless you, that has blessed you.